He was a heck of a player for Jerry York at Boston College for 4 years.
Captain of their team at one time. Oh, flattened was Paille, and Torres gets up, and he is shaken up from throwing that check.
He's in trouble with his left leg.
Taken along by Caberlet. Led perfectly to Peverley, who starts back ahead with Gregory Campbell. Lifted it across. Paille up with that one and hoisted it back in. Stopped there by Luongo. Reversed off the stick of Campbell. Back up now for the feather by Ehrhoff that can be brought right back ahead. Working back on was Oreskovic. The return pass from Tambellini given back to Tambellini and thrown stiffly at the front and blocked by Thomas. Right back up come the Bruins with it now, and it's Paille. Paille drifts, reached one over, and moving back in is Ference. Ference rammed by Rome as that one is thrown, and covering to make sure it doesn't escape behind him was Luongo.
Like the aggressiveness there of Andrew Ference jumping into the play and getting that puck towards the net. You saw the reaction from Roberto Luongo trying to pinch off on that post. Not sure where that puck was, but I like the aggressiveness from the Boston defenseman.
Fresh from the bench, Chara blasts one, and that one skittered wide and can be played by Bieksa. Bieksa pulls up and lays a long pass to Christopher Higgins. That one back checked away by Lucic, but gotten right back by Higgins and nudged back in. 3:20 to go, first period. Alex Burrows the only goal in this game. That one played along by Chara, bounced free. Higgins punched it back, and Chara must play again. Krejci could not work free with it, so it bounced back to Seidenberg. Lobbed around behind, and Chara with it. Good hitting on the part of Higgins. Careened on back to Seidenberg. Bruins cannot get through the neutral ice area. Chara yet again with under 3 minutes to go. Seidenberg drove it across. Hop tie could not be played. Carried on back by Burrows and given across. Henrik Sedin with a shot. Oh, and that one injured Chara. Another try is grabbed and held by Thomas. Want more hockey? The NHL Game Center Premium app gets you live radio broadcasts of every Stanley Cup playoff game, video highlights, and more right on your phone exclusively from Verizon.
An extended long shift there for Zdeno Chara and Dennis Seidenberg. To your point, Doc, the Vancouver Canucks doing a really good job in the middle of the ice. I think the Bruins got to get better support through the middle of the ice, and Zdeno Chara blocking the shot from Henrik Sedin. Nothing worse there at the end of a long shift. You're trying to get off and somebody bangs one right off your foot.
Here's Daniel Sedin, put it off Thomas's stick. And it is laid on back. What a nifty steal by Daniel Sedin right near the net. Punched back by Henrik Sedin.
Somebody got away with a hook there on the Vancouver side.
Brought back ahead by Kelly. Could not reach Peverley with that. Henrik Sedin on to Daniel Sedin. And fired it back to the corner, but an offside is called. Tomorrow, coverage of the French Open continues on NBC. An extraordinary tennis rivalry is renewed in the men's final as Rafael Nadal takes on Roger Federer. The French Open, presented by Geico, continues live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on NBC.
There's Rafi Torres back on the ice after a collision right in front of the Canuck bench. And now you have Chara and Seidenberg back on the ice. And you got the Sedins back on the bench, so I would anticipate late in the period, those guys, the Sedin line's going to come right back on the ice in the next shift.
Shot by Torres is directed wide. Marchand over to get that. Shoved off by LaPierre. Two ornery players side by side, one per team. This one wafted on back now where Seidenberg can give across to big Zdeno Chara. 6'9", 255. Playing it ahead now for Bergeron. That one left, but then brought on by Mark Recchi. LaPierre chopped at him and is testing his stick now to make sure it still is okay. Sammy Salo guided one off a Bruin stick. Forced off of Marchand, though, and ladled across by Torres for the carry back out. Lead pass was blocked by Chara. More cancellation by Marchand as he sends LaPierre down. And Chara. And off Horton. Nudged on in the midst of a change are the Bruins. This is carried on and then thrown by Higgins on goal and stopped by Thomas.
Playing the puck, and there's a way to forecheck. Now stop it right here. Here's Roberto Luongo. He's in behind the net. Somebody has to come and pressure him. And when you go and pressure, what are his options? They're around the boards. You have to take that away. If a goaltender go back and plays this, you don't go away from him. somebody's got to pressure and then take away the options. And right now for the Boston Bruins, Luongo's making plays behind the net. One guy's got to get in on him, and then he'll throw the puck up around the boards, and you'll get something sustained. Maybe you get a defenseman pitching in as well, but I think that's something the Bruins got to do a better job of.
Here's Bieksa shoveling one on goal that is guided away carefully by Thomas. Sent back on for Henrik Sedin, a weak toss, and a big ball went up from the crowd there. Nice finesse move by McQuaid. Gave it back up for Peverley, then on to Krejci. Nice pull there, and a lead ahead for Lucic, and along for Peverley, chased off by Bieksa. Threw one in front that rattled around off of Alex Burrows, and Burrows able to help it out to center. Daniel Sedin brought it on. Henrik glides by as Daniel plays one across for Burrows. His shot, and that blocked wide by Thomas. 40 seconds to go in the period. Handcuffing move there, but Bieksa reacted well. Dealt it behind for Burrows' pass that came to Lucic.
Good hit there by Ferentz on Burrows.
It is Peverley gliding one ahead to Krejci, and Krejci shoots one that's carefully sent aside by Luongo. The Lou cheers come up with each stop. They're not booing. Certainly not booing him, and not booing anything in general.
Well, if they do, you can always think it's looing.
That's true. You can always convince yourself. Here's Kessler, stalemated by Bergeron. Up the boards now to Marchand with 5 to go. This will have to be a long shot by Bergeron, but then it goes back in deep. That'll do it. 11 shots apiece. Alex Burrows with the only goal from Higgins and Salo at 12-12. Coming up in the Pizza Hut intermission report, Mike Milbury, Keith Jones, and Liam McHugh with their favorite plays from our first period. Plus, there are the Sedin Quins, but the Bruins may think there are 2 Kesslers out there as well. That's ahead on the Pizza Hut intermission report. Shots 11 apiece, 1 penalty to Zdeno Chara for interference at 10:24. That was the power play goal scored by Alex Burrows. 20 minutes are in the books here from Rogers Arena. 1-0 the home team. Welcome back to the NHL Stanley Cup Final on NBC, presented by Geico. 1-0 in favor of Vancouver. Time now for Miller Lite presents Taste Greatness. And it focuses on a young man who began as a forward at age 8, but he changed to goaltending at 11 when the regular goalie didn't show up. He said he wanted to be a goaltender. His parents weren't encouraging him. They would rather he be a forward, but he has made a pretty fair living and had a wonderful career. Pierre.
Well, for the Boston Bruins, it's imperative that they start to move the puck to open ice rather than around the boards. And one of the things they started doing later in the first period, finding open ice. Here's the Exhibit A. Up the wall, find the inside part of the ice. That's where the seam is, because Vancouver's taking away the walls. Look at the blue sweaters taking away the walls, so the seam is through the inside part of the ice. When you go through the inside part of the ice, it's either D to the middle, D to the middle, or D to the wing right to the center. You can't come up the boards if you're Boston because of the way Vancouver's taking them away.
We are hearing it is 6 a.m. or a little after that in Kabul, Afghanistan, where folks are watching this telecast and saying they're enjoying the coverage, and we're sure glad because we're enjoying the hockey here as this comes from Ferentz off the face-off onto Chara and then up to Mark Recchi. And it ricocheted on back now to Kessler. Kessler gave it to Sami Salo. Pitched on to center and cut off there and stashed on back. No changes just yet in those Bruins lines. Edler drops back to play this defensively for Vancouver. Led on now for Mason Raymond. Out of the University of Minnesota at Duluth. Tried to play one on through, could not. Rattled one further and it went off Ferentz. Chasing around behind with it now is Raymond. Met there by both Boychuk and Bergeron. Reversed on now to Ferentz, and burrowing in is Bieksa. Played it off of Ferentz. Lobbed on back to Ferentz by Marchand. So the Bruins weave their way out this time, and Recchi is able to rattle it back in and come to the bench for a fire wagon change. It is Kessler with it behind. Krejci is out there, as well as Nathan Horton. Marchand to the bench, replaced by Milan Lucic. That one went out of play, and then there's always that protest of whether there'll be a penalty or not.
They're huddling up.
I think that's a penalty. Alain Vigneault's yelling it goes off the glass. Let's see. That's up. Does it touch the glass?
Yes, it does.
Then if
yes,
it touches
it does.
the glass, that's fine. I don't see it. You have a better view, Edzo.
Yes, it goes off the high glass. Before it meets, it goes off the high glass.
And they're saying no, he's getting a penalty. Bieksa's getting a penalty. They're saying no.
Watch this puck. It's in air. It goes right up there, and you see the bank off the high glass and then in to the crowd. Clearly, that was off the glass into the stands. Should not be a penalty from my vantage point.
And you know what, Enzo, I would agree with you, but it's tough to see because of all the dark sweaters down here. That's why you lose it when you're on the ice.
Bud Light power play begins for the Bruins. Chara is at the front of the net. A drive and a save made by Luongo. Krejci fed one around and it went off of Horton and is picked up and started back out. Lugged on to center by Edler, and Edler just holds up and shoots. And that one got the glass. Pretty good rush and a leisurely one there by Edler, as there wasn't much of a challenge coming from the Bruins. Burrows laid it back and it's rocketed on around. Raymond tied up by Seidenberg. More time goes off the penalty clock. And then emerging is Raymond, able to get one out in front, and a shot by Ehrhoff is turned wide. Not a confidence builder for the team in white at the start of this power play. Ahead now comes Chara, lobbing one around behind.
Outstanding effort there by Mason Raymond.
Played onto the back now to Caberlet. Chara takes his position in front of Luongo, and a shot is geared away by Aaron Rome of the Vancouver defense and drubbed back down.
I loved what Mike Milbury and Keith Jones were talking about right before puck drop. I mean, these are hard minutes for Zdeno Chara to be playing on the power play. Not used to that playing as a forward. And I think that's why he got so tired so late in that game, in game one, is because of that extra ice time playing as a forward on the power play.
Off of Mark Recchi, Lucic is at the front of the net. Eddie Olczyk had designed that in place of Chara, and he is there. Thrown back along now by Ryder. Lucic peeled off to get this one. Nubbed off his stick, but he regathers. Hands on now to Ryder. Ryder fed one in front. Oh, and Recchi pounded at it, but Luongo is able to hang on. Little extra after the whistle, and helmetless is Lucic.
Beautiful play by Milan Lucic to get this puck to Michael Ryder. When we talk about in the open, this is the area of the ice that you have to attack. The Vancouver defense is down below the goal line. Great effort, outstanding stop by Roberto Luongo.
Not a very good play by Christian Ehrhoff. You understand what he's trying to do, but he's got to maintain his feet rather than sprawling out. He hung Manny Malhotra out to dry, and Roberto Luongo bailed everyone out.
If you're the Boston Bruins, you go to school on that play. Whoever's in front of the net, Chara, Lucic, doesn't matter. You want to play down low. Eventually, the points will be open. The defense will be open in order to shoot the puck. The Vancouver Canucks right now do not respect the shooters from the back end when shorthanded for the Boston Bruins.
That's bang on. That's why they're overplaying up high, and that's why that team was available.
Well, to your point, they probably would respect the shooter if number 33 was the guy back there.
Get in that lane and just open up ice, and that's exactly what it is. It's adjustments, those in-shift adjustments.
Here is Lucic moving, shooting one that went wide. Lucic wedged one along near Ference. Battled for by Recchi, jostled a bit by Sammy Salo. Lucic able to keep it alive, but that one's gloved down and played on by Rome. Couldn't get it out. Lucic at the half boards, but then it's squibbed on to be played by Bieksa. Across now in the exchange from Kessler. It's Bieksa shooting, turned aside by Thomas. Kessler run off by Ryder, so Lucic can take over. So an empty power play for the Bruins, 21 straight, 1 for 33 on the road. To all those in New England, we apologize. We're just reciting the numbers, and we know that they're troubling. Thrown back ahead now by Ference, and it ricocheted on back, and it can be played by Ehrhoff. German-born defenseman got it to Daniel Sedin, right back across to Burrows. Burrows drifting, sent one across the net mouth wide. Kelly nicely flicked it on, settled down there, and carried on ahead for the pass from Peverley on to Ference. Ference gave it back across, and the shot is turned right back out again by Luongo. Held at the back, another shot by Seidenberg, and that ricocheted back out.
And a big-time screen by Peverley off the Seidenberg shot. Great save by Luongo.
Lobbed in by Henrik Sedin, and along to take it is Seidenberg. Seidenberg jabbed it to Kelly, quickly back up the wing. They're able to bring it and force it across. Carried on by Patrice Bergeron. Lobbed it back to the corner, wanted to get there for it, but could not. It squibbed on to Burrows. And it's sent off of Torres. Nice grab by Seidenberg to keep play alive. Then along to Sagan. Sagan turned, walled there by Bieksa. Tried to bounce off and keep it going. Did to Bergeron, but he fluffed on the shot. And then it must be played back out again by Alex Burrows and wedged to center.
Little makeshift line here with Bergeron, Kelly, and Sagan out on the ice.
After the power play for the Bruins, that's why.
Shoved back along by Sagan. Scaled on back to Chara. Fires! And that one knocked down in front. Taken back along and sent back out again.